It's Pride Month, and this is the month where, of course, the LGBTQIA plus community is gladly celebrating their pride in being who they are. But it's also the month where it is trigger city for the MAGA men. They are so incredibly triggered, and it brings out the most abject cruelty in these so-called Christian men. The first one I'd like to discuss today is the governor of our state, Kevin Stitt. He is a complete dick, a heartless dick who said when he won his second term, I want to dedicate every square inch of the state of Oklahoma to Jesus Christ. So this big Christian guy, big follower of Christ, always has to talk about it all the time. This is what he does in June. Put this up. Today, I proudly proclaim June as the month of life in Oklahoma. It's simple. Life begins at conception. We're committed to supporting moms every step. God has a plan for every life. Learn more about how we're supporting life and families at oklahoma.gov/life. And what I have to say to you, Kevin Stitt, is number one, you don't support moms at every juncture. In your state, a mom that could have 2 kids at home could have a physician tell her at 20 weeks, at 15 weeks, I'm sorry, this baby, we have major severe complications. You're probably going to carry it to term, but as soon as that baby's born, it is not going to be able to live. I'm unable to do anything to help you. This pregnancy is going to be detrimental to your life as well, but by law, I can't do anything for you. So that mom that you claim you're supporting, if she has the money, has to drive to another state with a decent governor, with a decent human being who's not a lying hypocrite like you to go get health care. And then her kids are left with their dad, a babysitter, somebody else. People are missing work. So save me, spare me that you give a shit about moms because you don't support kids after school programs. All you support is business. All you talk about is business. All you talk about is that government should be run like a business. And that is so intellectually stupid. Governments should not be run like a business. Governments are not run for profit. Governments are run by the people, for the people. Businesses are run for the business owner. That is insane. Furthermore, for you to say God has a plan for every life is so stupid. It is ridiculous. What about people who are raped in your state? Raped by maybe a family member, and then you want them to carry that baby to term. And that's your God's plan for that woman's life. That's sick. It's twisted. And you're doing this to grandstand, to diminish 10% of your state's population. 10% of your state statistically worldwide is homosexual or a member of the LGBTQIA plus community. And you're just being a dick for the sake of being a dick. And you're doing it by using your faith, which is abusive to other people of faith. It's an abuse of your power. You're a charlatan. It's disgusting. I cannot believe that you can't be a governor for every Oklahoman and you always have to inject your faith into it. It sickens me. It's disgusting. We have members of our staff that are homosexual, and to see their governor put some shit like that down when they're trying to find pride around all these hateful evangelicals that are so triggered by a pride flag is just abhorrent and beyond the pale. You are a disgrace, and I'm so glad this is your last term as governor.
Just to piggyback off you in terms of supporting women, there's no family medical leave in Oklahoma. He turned away, our governor turned away federal funds for free lunches at school. There is no help with childcare. So you're talking about he is only supporting the people that have money, that can pay for childcare, that don't need food stamps, that don't need any kind of social safety net. He doesn't give a shit about the baby after it's born, and it is over and over again on display. And we are dead last, if not 49th or 50th in education.
50th. And out of all of the states in America, we're ranked 50th for women to live.
Right.
50th. So for him to say that he supports women
is a lie.
And moms is a total lie. It's gaslighting. And he does this by using his faith. And let me tell you, Kevin Stitt, I'm not religious, but you are. And your God, whatever your belief system, knows that you're a liar. And you did this to be cruel to the LGBTQIA plus community. community. You did it in June on purpose to be a dick, all while using your faith, all while riling up the most disgusting portion of our state that is so hateful to this community. And let me tell you something, Kevin Stitt. Gay people are born to Christians. Gay people are born to atheists. Gay people are born to Republicans. Gay people exist everywhere. They did long before your governorship, during your governorship, and will exist after. But you have a choice. You can either lean into your faith and the central character of your faith and say, you know what? I don't know what the answer to all of that is, but this community's hurting. This community is getting bullied, and I'm not going to be a participant in the bullying. I'm going to be a comforter. I am going to provide comfort and support to this community. Whatever their faith is none of my business, but my job as a Christian would be to help these people. But that's not what you do. The whole thing was optics, just to be a dick, to curry favor with the rabid MAGA base. It's disgusting, and Christians like you need to be called out. It is so sick that you value money always over human beings, Kevin Stitt. You always value money over human beings. You are a charlatan. Your faith is a shining example of why the Christian faith, it doesn't have very high favorables. It's because of Christians just like you. You're judgmental, and then you pop that out on June just to be a dick, just for spite. And it's despicable.
It's totally despicable. And here's the thing, going back to just one thing that's really on my mind. Now, we have the state superintendent who's a nut that wants to put the big lie in curriculum. Kevin Stitt is a lame duck governor. He knows it's a lie, and he has not come out against it. It's been very lukewarm. He has done nothing to educate the children in this state, nor has he come out against somebody that intends to not educate these children, but indoctrinate them into Christian faith. And he can't run for re-election again. So what's the ball game? He doesn't give a shit about children or women.
Families.
Or families. He cares about his family.
He cares about white Christian, upper middle class to upper class families. That's the list. That is the list. This is not a man who's tried to solve the poverty problem in Oklahoma.
Absolutely not.
This is not a man that outreaches where, when you hear, we had Governor Andy Beshear, a governor from Kentucky, a red state, on this podcast. And he spoke about, I'm not going to bully those kids, those gay kids, those lesbian kids, those queer kids, those trans kids. And Andy Beshear, a real governor, a real Christian, said, Kevin Stitt, my faith tells me that I need to love them and show them grace. That's what he said. But what do? You do this political optics stuff that bring out the most rabid, hateful people online and in real life. They love that shit. And you did it on purpose to just rub your nose in the gay community. It is abhorrent. All of these mega churches in Oklahoma are abhorrent. They are homophobic, either outwardly or more insidiously, more of a coded way, where they say, oh, we have a couple of gay members of the church, but when it gets right down to it in one-on-one conversation, it's, oh, you're going to hell. It's so insane. But let me just move on from him, because I could go on and on and on about what a lying, hypocritical dick Governor Kevin Stitt is. He's a fake Christian, he's a charlatan, and he's a piece of shit. But speaking of pieces of shit, here's Michael Flynn, big MAGA guy. He goes on to Twitter, this is Michael Flynn Jr., the son of Michael Flynn. Good morning and happy Sunday. No quotes today, just wanted to post how I feel about Pride Month. And he puts a clip of the character from Kylie, is that The Office?
Parks and Rec.
Into a dumpster. So that's what he wants to do. That's what he wanted to do on June 1st, because these people are so mean to gay people just for spite, just for the point of being dicks. Well, Nick Offerman, the guy who plays this character on Parks and Recs, retweeted Michael Flynn Jr. and put, Ron was best man at a gay wedding, you dumb fuck. #happy pride. And I say kudos to Nick, and kudos to everybody who is not triggered or takes it personally that somebody else happens to be gay. Why do you care? Why is your goal when you see a rainbow flag or you hear that people are gay is to be mean to them? What is that about? Is that what your Christianity is about? Because it is off-putting, cultish, hate cult, and then with all the regulations on women, makes me feel like it's a death cult. And there's really no daylight between a group like Hamas and these evangelical Christians. There's really not that much daylight. Kevin Stitt had an opportunity. An Oklahoma City employee came out, and we did an episode on this about 4 or 5 days ago, who said he's a Southern Baptist preacher, and he said on tape that he thinks gays should be lined up and shot and executed. Kevin Stitt, this was in the Daily Oklahoma, and he knows that exists. What does he do on June 1st? What does he do? He does the Life Month. And that is a complete attack on the gay community. And it will just get disappeared because all of these hypocrites do all this shit with impunity. But it makes me insane. It makes me crazy because I know in this state, there are so many marginalized members of the LGBTQIA plus community who have to live around the Kevin Stitts who are overtly homophobic. And then they live around the covert homophobes, the homophobes that are sweet to their face, but then go engage in institutions and churches and places that are not inclusive. And that to me is super insidious.
I would just say one thing to follow all that up, because I agree with you 100%. But let's remember at the MAGA Republican convention, Grindr went down twice. And so you ask, why are these people, other than, they say, oh, God says it's a sin, they can't be gay because their faith won't allow it? Because I think there is a large number in the MAGA party. They are so obsessed with gay people. I think it's a spot it, got it, and I'm jealous situation. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And thank you for pointing that out about Grindr. So, Kevin Stitt, one thing you're doing is you're not being an ally to all the closeted gay Republicans in your party. All right. So that's something that I guess your faith is prompting you to do. Your faith is disgusting. There's nothing appealing about it. You do it in Oklahoma with impunity. You've driven the state into the ground. You haven't improved one thing. All you do is propagandize your religious base in this state. You don't ever tell them the truth, and you don't ever do anything to ease suffering, ease poverty, increase access to health care. You do none of that. All you give a shit about is business, which is like the top 1% to 2%. You've been great to the oil and gas companies. You've been shitty to the people that Jesus would have been good to. So fuck you, Kevin Stitt. All right, we'll see you all later.